Well, let's talk now to the leader of one of Sudan's southern political parties, an offshoot of the SPLM, Lam Akol. You're talking to us, Mr. Akol, from Khartoum. You were in the past and you possibly are now, still close to some of the high command of Omar Bashir's party. What are you hearing? Will Khartoum vote for peace or to go to war?
Well, I don't know whether any of them will opt for war or peace, but what we know is that the people are engaged in Sudan now on the preparations for the referendum on self-determination of the South that we hope will take place on the 9th of January. And as you might have followed, the commission has finished the first stages of the process. They have completed the registration, and as we speak, the period for complaints and challenges of the registry has
okay, so
finished.
everything's in place. So is there, would you say, a conducive environment for the referendum to take place?
Well, that has become an irrelevant discussion now, as what we have, that there will be a referendum, whether there is.
No, I think it's very relevant. I mean, what's happening on the ground? What's going to happen if the South decides to split from the North? What happens to the proxy armies who are in Abyei and operating in the South?
There are no proxy army in the South. If you remember the CPA very well, is that there's only the SPLA in the South and the joint integrated units that are composed equally between the two parties.
Where's the Lord's Resistance Army operating? In what territory? In Abyei?
The Northern Army is in the north. There is no Northern Army in the south.
I'm talking about the Lord's Resistance Army. Okay, let's talk about the tribes in the south. Say you vote to break away. What's going to be done in order for the tribes to be able to coexist peacefully?
What has been done for them to coexist peacefully when the Sudan was united? I mean, this is a question that always being raised by people who want to suggest that the South cannot run its own affairs. They need a force from outside to cement them. Actually, that word was used by some commentators, that the unity of the Sudan is the cement of the southern disparate tribes. I think at the moment you have a government in southern Sudan. Whatever deficiencies that government has, the least you can describe it with is that it is made up of a party of tribes. So the question of tribes is taken care of, and the system of government that
really
is in
everybody's
place,
going to be happy in the south to be ruled by the SPLM. That's the dominant party.
Everybody may not be happy that they will be ruled by the SPLM, but they will not be. If they are not happy, they will not be unhappy because the SPLM is composed of a particular tribe.
Okay, well, the scenario you're painting is a pretty upbeat scenario, and I am delighted to hear that. That's not what many analysts are saying about the situation. There is real concern that there could be some sort of intervention from the north, from neighboring countries. If all goes according to plan, do you think the politicians in the south are ready to lead the country, to take it away from the failed status of the north?
I'm not suggesting for any moment that if separation is the choice in southern Sudan, there will be no problems. And anybody who thinks that way will be naive in my thinking. What I am saying is that the kind of arguments that are being raised today, whether the South will survive as an entity, whether the South will not rip itself apart on tribal basis, these are things that could happen anywhere. You have many situations in Africa where political parties are based on tribal basis, and when things go wrong in the elections, you find a tribe at the neck of other tribe. That for the moment is not the issue here in Sudan, and particularly in southern Sudan. The issue is that the self-determination right that was granted to the people of southern Sudan in the comprehensive peace agreement is being exercised, and that is actually the last stage of the implementation of the comprehensive peace agreement. Whatever happened afterwards,
excuse me,
is for the Southerners to sort out. Pardon?
Do you think the International Criminal Court should, when the dust settles, go after Omar al-Bashir? Should they speed up that race to try and get him?
You know, my view on that court has been very clear from the very beginning. I don't believe that that court has jurisdiction over Sudan. Sudan is not a member of the ICC. So is America, Russia, China in the Security Council. There are only 2 members of the Security Council who are in the ICC. So we don't believe that their pronouncement is right, because if the ICC was so good, they should have been members of that ICC. What concerns us in Southern Sudan is that it was al-Bashir who signed with us the comprehensive peace agreement. The comprehensive peace agreement will not and cannot be implemented without him, and therefore we don't think that this is even the time or the right thing to do to run after him.
Okay, Mr. Lam-Akol, thank you very much for talking to us. We do appreciate that. Well, the pace of economic growth is already picking up, but division could slow back down again. The nation has vital resources, the proceeds of which could provide new opportunities for Sudan's 44 million people. Let's hear the views of those in Khartoum and Juba.
We pray hard that our nation, which is the Republic of Southern Sudan, should be expressed, and people should know outside, even USA, outside the world, should recognize us as black people and black Africans living in Southern Sudan, and we need the Republic of Southern Sudan.
I wish for Sudan to stay united, and if there is a split, we wish the economic relations between the 2 countries to continue for the good of both societies and for this to be the beginning of a new unity.
If you have been mistreated, you rather deserve to be alone on your own. Yeah, I personally support separation.
Thank you very much for joining us for an in-depth look at Sudan, a nation at a crossroads.